Hey everyone, Grant K for the Flame Learning channel. In this video, we're going to cover some general improvements to the Action Schematic. This will affect the way you select nodes, move them around, and copy and paste them. We'll also finish off with a new node kissing functionality, which will make your life a lot easier when assigning lights and shaders to geometry in the Action 3D scene. This video is not footage specific, so you can use your own media to follow along. So here I have an Action setup, which contains a range of nodes that build up the 3D composite. Now I'm not going to focus on the composite result, as it's the Action Schematic we're interested in. So I'll just use a single view and focus on the Action Schematic. Firstly, a lot has changed in the Flame 2017 Extension 1 products compared to previous versions. For example, the general behaviors of the Action Schematic have now been standardized to the behaviors in the Batch Schematic. In other words, your general interaction in a flow graph should be consistent between Batch and Action. So starting with multi-selections, in the previous versions, you could only perform a node multi-selection if they were all connected to the same branch. In this version, you can also select nodes anywhere in the Action Schematic as a multi-selection. So you would click a node to select it. To add to the selection, you can do it in multiple ways. The first way is to hold Ctrl and click on various nodes. Once the nodes are selected, you can move the selection wherever you want. To remove nodes from a selection, you also hold Ctrl and click on any of the selected nodes. The second way to perform a multi-node selection is to use a rectangular selection. Click anywhere on the grey area to release the existing selection. Now hold Ctrl and click and drag a rectangular box over a group of nodes. Any nodes falling in the rectangle will become part of the multi-selection. Now if you hold Ctrl and drag a rectangle over a different set of nodes, the old selection will cancel out and a new selection will be made. If you want to add to an existing selection using the rectangular selection, hold Ctrl-Shift and drag a rectangular selection over the other nodes. So what you've seen so far is pretty standard in most applications, and now you have them in Flame. Now as an added bonus to the new selection functionality in Action, and Batch for that matter, you can now frame nodes based on their selection. So make a multi-selection of nodes. When you press the Space F keyboard shortcut, all the selected nodes will be framed in the viewport. So it's become really easy to focus on a selection of nodes. You could also press Space A to frame every node in the schematic. What is also useful is if you select an object in the composite, you can frame the selection in the schematic and vice versa. The schematic and the composite viewport are always in sync, and they also share the same color coding, so the node location and selection should be much easier to use between the two views. Another selection functionality that is not well known is branch path toggling. This is when you select an object involved in multiple instances as part of a complex flow graph. By pressing Alt-Space-Left arrow or right arrow, you can navigate between all the possible connections generated by that object. The next Action Schematic improvement affects copying and pasting nodes. So now you can tell Flame where to paste the nodes in the Action Schematic. For example, you select a node or multiple nodes and press Ctrl-C. You can also call up the contextual menu and choose Copy. Now in previous versions, the pasted nodes would always appear next to the copied nodes. This meant if you wanted to have nodes pasted on the other side of a large flow graph, you would have to paste them and then move them a long way off. Pasting now happens under cursor. So if you move the cursor over here, you could press Ctrl-V for paste, or call up the contextual menu again and paste the nodes. The newly pasted nodes are pasted where you place the cursor, making the operation more gestural and less time moving nodes around after the fact. Finally, the last feature we'll cover in this video is a new type of node kissing. In previous versions, you would use node kissing to rapidly apply a type of behavior to a set of nodes. For instance, you could hold Shift and kiss nodes together to drive their transformations. You could also hold Shift-Alt and perform reverse kissing, which is useful for assigning textures to multiple geometries or assigning a matchbox to multiple textures. You could also kiss nodes to mimic behaviors between identical types of nodes. In the Flame 2017 Extension 1 products, the node kissing has been expanded to the lighting link. This means you can rapidly assign lighting links as well as shader nodes to 3D geometry in the 3D scene. In previous versions, you would have to create one lighting link at a time. Now all you need to do is hold Shift-L and kiss the light node or shader node to the geometry you want to affect. You will find this incredibly useful when assigning a light to multiple geometries, or using the new PBR workflow where you need to assign a physically based shader to loads of 3D geometry in the Action composite. This video has only covered a few of the improvements to the Action schematic, so be sure to check out the other features, workflows and updates to the Flame 2017 Extension 1 products. Comments, feedback and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Flame Learning channel for future videos.